So I wasn't going to make this video today. In fact, I really wasn't going to do any video until tomorrow night or Wednesday. Unfortunately, we got some bad news, as if my day hasn't been shitty enough. The PlayStation 5 event has been canceled. We have news on this now, in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. The event, has been reported, was for June 4th, this Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Sony released a statement canceling the event today, and here's what they had to say. And I quote, "We have decided to postpone the PlayStation 5 event scheduled for June 4th. While we understand the games worldwide are excited to see PS5 games, we do not feel right now is the time for celebration. And for now, we want to stand back and allow more important voices to be heard." This quote was issued 3 hours after Sony made a statement on Twitter supporting the Black Lives Matter movement in regards to all of the bullshit with the riots. You know, it's all done out of anger because of, you know, what the white cops did to that man last week. Rest in peace, George Floyd. You know, shit shouldn't have happened. The other officers should have done something about it. This was a 3-hour topic on Derailed last night. I actually did not want to be on the show because I didn't want to talk about this, and here I am talking about it because now I kind of have to. So, you know, it is what it is. There's been a week worth of fucking riots and protests all across America. Started in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and has spread across the country in areas like New York City, LA, Chicago, Phoenix, Arizona, Dallas, Texas, and Washington, D.C. People marching on the White House, and it's just ridiculous. And it's a shame, you know, what some of these people are doing. You know, being violent and looting shit, killing people, setting things on fire, destroying property. That's not how you protest something. Everybody, you know, up in arms, you know, over what happened. Everyone's, you know, on the Black Lives Matter movement, which I believe in all lives matter, which, since I believe all lives matter, I feel also, all lives matter, of course, I feel encompasses Black Lives Matter and everybody's lives of all other races and, you know, nationalities and whatnot. Couldn't think of the word there. So that's what I believe in. I'm going to read you the other statement they made. "We denounce systematic racism and violence against the black community. We will continue to work towards a future marked by empathy and inclusion and stand with our black creators, players, employees, families, and friends. Hashtag Black Lives Matter." Neil Druckmann of Naughty Dog, the vice president, also shared a tweet of Sony matching all donations made by Naughty Dog employees, in which it showed Sony had matched a $500 donation to the American Civil Liberties Union Foundation, Northside Achievement Zone Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights under Law NAACP Special Contribution Fund, and Race Forward. Naughty Dog had also donated $100 to each charity. Previously, Naughty Dog had released a statement committing the developers' support to Black Lives Matter, standing against racism, violence, and injustice. Neil Druckmann says, "Thank you, PlayStation, for matching donations." And they are all listed here. I will put this on screen so you can take a look at this for yourself. But it is 5 charities, $100 each. So that was pretty nice of PlayStation. Naughty Dog also said on Twitter, and I quote, "Now is not the time for any of us to be silent. For too long have too many suffered under a systematic problem in America." Systemic. As I've been saying systematic. I apologize. Under a systemic problem in America. Too many have lost sons, daughters, brothers, sisters, fathers, and mothers. We stand in solidarity against racism and injustice. Now is the time for all to do our part and end anti-black racism and violence. Many of us at Naughty Dog are donating to national and local organizations. Please consider donating yourself. We hope to see the beginning of lasting change for POC in America. Hashtag Black Lives Matter with the Naughty Dog logo to sign off their post. Sony had previously announced, their event. They were going to do this they announced in a corporate strategy meeting in May. They were going to host this event. However, now because of what happened in Minnesota and all the riots and protesting that's been going on, the event has been canceled, and there has yet to be a new date for the event. I was really looking forward to this, and I understand why. The riots now and these protesting is a good thing. The problem with the protesting is while people are protesting the right way, there are other assholes going out there and looting and shooting and burning down property, destroying property, running people over in their cars. Then you have these people who claim to be in support of the protests, like the one guy who came out with a bow and arrow and yelled "All Lives Matter" and then proceeded to shoot a black guy in the crowd with an arrow. The man also then was jumped by about 30 people. I think he deserved it, to be honest. And of course, with the news media, they're only showing you the bad shit that's going on. There's plenty of good going on as well. You could find it. It's all over Twitter and Facebook and whatnot. You can find instances where people are destroying property and the black protesters are yelling at them and giving them shit, chasing them away, trying to restrain them, talking to them like, why are you doing this? Get out of here. We didn't ask for your help. We don't want you here and stuff like that. I don't understand why people do some of the things they do. But, unfortunately, the stuff that's people are doing, whether good or bad, is not going to bring George back. And I don't think George would have wanted people to riot over his death, even though it was definitely unjustified. The officer who had killed him was acquitted 18 other times, from what I understand. He had 18 other complaints. He was acquitted of all of them. And now he took a man's life. And while he is arrested and being charged, I believe it's third-degree murder or second-degree murder, the other 3 officers are still scot-free while they're accomplices to the problem. It really sucks. And like I said last night on Derailed, they covered this on the show a lot better than I'm talking about it here. So I'm going to link Derailed 116 in the description box below. You guys should go listen to that. They did it. They talked about it for 3 hours on the show. I did not want to be a part of the show last night because I felt like I really didn't want to talk about this. Was growing quite tired of hearing of it, especially, when the media spins it so that they only tell you the bad things and, not the little glimmers of good things that have been going on. And, it's bullshit. That's the media for you. But, I was really looking forward to this event, and unfortunately now it's canceled. Sony, PlayStation, much respect to them for donating money they didn't have to donate to these charity foundations. I'm hoping these riots and everything stop soon, because things have gotten out of hand. I read that there were quite a handful of people that were arrested in the Boston area last night. Unless, of course, what I read on Twitter was a joke. But I want to give a shout out to fellow Derailed member of the show, Casey is Raw. You can check out his YouTube channel if you want. He is, I would say he's a bigger gamer than me. And I don't say that about most people, but he's got a lot of shit. He puts me to shame. And I'm not afraid to say that. Casey let me know of the cancellation of this event earlier today. So thank you. I appreciate it, Casey, for letting me know on Twitter. And, you know, it is what it is with that. And maybe this should have been its own video, but I have one more little thing I want to talk about. One more little piece of positivity, I guess. We are going to get some news tomorrow morning at, I believe, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. I want to say. No, yes, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to get some news on the Pokemon Sword and Shield expansion DLC. The Japanese Twitter account for Pokemon has teased the date for the next big expansion pass announcement. People presumably, I said that right? Yes, I did. Presumably learn more about the Isle of Armor on June 2nd, which is tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. The news will come out, as I said, 9 a.m. However, all we know is a announcement about this reveal. The announcement, yeah, it's all in Japanese, the tweet, so I can't read it. There's a logo, two logos here. One that looks like, I don't even know what these look like. The one looks like a crown. The blue one looks like a crown. I don't really even know how to describe what the other one looks like. I'll put this up on the screen too, so you can take a look at it. Yeah, say this. The blue one looks a bit like a crown or like the top of a scepter, something like that. Maybe the yellow one looks like a shield, some kind of shield with a Pokemon's head on it or some shit like that. That's my interpretation of what this looks like, but we don't know what they're going to announce. Maybe they're going to tell us the release date for these DLCs, or at least the next one coming out, since the expansion is supposed to be a 2-part DLC. I don't know if it's going to be, if you have to buy $30 per one, which I really hope not, because that would suck. As a reminder, the Isle of Armor is an expansion pass that will add new Pokemon, new locations, new moves, and new Gigantamax forms of Galarian starter Pokemon. You'll be able to get your own Kubfu legendary Pokemon when you visit it. So the expansion pass will arrive in June 2020. You can pre-purchase it now on the eShop. It has been there for quite a while. I haven't bought it yet, but I think I'm going to wait until it's out. Because for all we know, maybe this DLC gets delayed until July, and then I'll buy it next month. You know, with everything else getting fucking delayed. So, that's what it is, folks. Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC announcement tomorrow morning. Look for it on the Japanese Twitter account. Japanese Pokemon Twitter account. It's all in Japanese. It is at... It looks like the account that's going to make the tweet is at Pokemon_COJP, which I would imagine stands for Pokemon Company of Japan. So at Pokemon_COJP. Look for that when they post. You know, you could just use Google Translate or something to get the gist of what the announcement's going to be. So, unfortunately, guys, I ended up having to talk a little bit about something I didn't want to talk about. It is what it is. You know, the news kind of sucks, but what are you going to do about it? Thanks for watching, guys. This is the Game Corner Pocket, episode 4. I hope you don't take my comments on the rioting situation and stuff too seriously, because, you know, as much as I didn't follow it too much, I followed it. I knew enough, about what happened across YouTubers that I watch and late night shows on YouTube that I watch, like Monetize This, and I'm part of Derailed. But like I said, again, didn't want to be on the show last night. Although I did throw Drew a few dollars for not showing up on the show. I felt like I wanted to say something, more lighthearted. So I did. Made a couple of small donations to the show. I will be back on episode 117 to defend my Cards Against Humanity Championship. And until next time, guys, my name is The Rose, and I'll catch your ass down the road.